Okay, a friend of mine has had me make up this jar right here. If you can see it, it's a jar of skulls. Scary for Halloween. So she gave me 2 of them, so I thought I'd show you how to make one just like it. Supplies we need. I used Spanish moss and some gray cheesecloth from the dollar store. And she had a strand of skulls tied up with jute. They were this size. I took them apart and I split them between the 2 of them. That was from the Halloween spirit store, and then she picked up some bigger heads. There's 3 of those per container. Now first what you want to do is put some Spanish moss in your jar. You break it up, this stuff long and stringy like that. So kind of break it up in your container. Ooh, a little dusty, that's okay. This is supposed to look kind of creepy looking. So, I'm going to bury the first head down in there. Like it's laying at the bottom. Somebody forgot about it, left it there. Layer some more Spanish moss in there, and I might take some of this cheesecloth and actually I might cut some of this in half. I don't like it being quite so thick. Cut it right down the middle here. Point. There we go. And I might take some of that and drape it down in here. I'm going to make that the front because this back side here, it has a handle and it's got a seam, so that is going to be the front. Then I will take another little strand of this long strand and stick, maybe wrap it around the head a little bit. If you need to, dab a little glue from your glue gun on there to get it to stay where you want it to stay. Just kind of want it to look a little creepy. So I turn the head looking up. And as you go along, all these little flakes that are coming off of your Spanish moss, this stuff is really messy. Just drop it down in your jar. That'll kind of be filler, base filler. Okay. And I've got those 2 heads in there, and I've got 3 big ones, so I think I'll put a little bit more Spanish moss in here. Shred it apart over the jar. That's my back right there, so I'm going to make this the front, and the other head is looking that way, so I'm going to tilt this one the opposite direction. And I'm going to leave this. I might cut this a little bit more. Cut that cheesecloth. Maybe just have it drape over the head a little bit. Make it scary looking. Okay, see what I did now? I've got some space in the back. I'll put one of these heads back here. Keep that moss in place. If it's all tangled up together like that, I mean, it's okay. You can kind of swirl it around in there a little bit. I mean, it makes it kind of look cool, like rope or something. But I think I need a smaller head in here. I want to make it where it looks like it's peeking out that moss there a little bit. Yeah, get that face looking out there. Like that. And then I'm going to put this other head in here. Maybe like they're twins. Oh, cool. Okay. Take all this moss that's shredded up here. Throw it in the jar over its head. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to take a little more moss, or I'll take that other little piece of cheesecloth and drape it over its head here. Back side. You do kind of stretch it out a little bit. Now I'll put some more moss over it. The idea is just to kind of layer it in there. Use the moss as cushion for their heads a little bit. Actually, I think I'm going to put a little skull in here behind that one. But it needs some padding there. So I'm going to wrap some of this around it. Stick it down in there like that. Just leave it kind of hanging over the side. Okay. This face sticking out. Okay, I've got all the little ones in there. Now I'm going to take some of this cheesecloth, a strip of it. I don't want it that thick. I'm just going to cut me a strip, like a square strip out of it, I think, like that. Drape it across, like that, so it kind of hangs over the edge a little bit. And then I'm going to take some of this moss and make a little bed, like a little nest for this next head to go into. And string those. Yeah, cool. A little bit more moss for the head in there. I'll just make a little nest. Kind of cool if those skull glowed in the dark. You could do that, paint them with glow-in-the-dark paint. Put all that in there. Off on the floor. Take this last skull. There we go. Just kind of drape it in there like that. Let that moss hang over the edge. One hanging over his head. Give him a little pillow of moss. Then I'm going to take and drape some of that cheesecloth here up the side. I like this handle to hang, but I want them to be kind of opposite directions of the other one. So that one drapes on that side. I'm going to take this one and drape it on the other side. Kind of tricky getting these things to stay in here, so try and use the I'll use this loop, the little hole here that this canister is in. Poke that cheesecloth through there if you can get it. Thread it in there. Try to anyways. Thread it through. Just get a few of them in, you can probably pull it through. Try to anyways. Alright, that's not working. I need something skinny. Oh well, I won't do it like that then. I'm just going to wrap it around it. Maybe I'll use my glue gun. Okay. Hanging like that, I think. Make it look creepy. Then I took some of my ribbon, just enough. Actually, I took my glue gun. And on this one, I just kind of bunched up some of the cheesecloth around the handle here. I want the handle to stay. So I took some of this cheesecloth and bunched it around the handle and put a bunch of glue on it, but be careful because it seeps right through and it will burn you. So you just want it to kind of stabilize that handle in place. Doesn't need to be permanent. Just need to hold it up. So hold it in place there until it dries. Hopefully it'll hold it up. Yeah, I think it's going to. See how this looks. Okay, I'm going to take a piece of this ribbon, just kind of tie it. Yep, you have to glue it in there a little better. Tie that on there just to not put it in place. You could tack this on too. Let me see what it looks like from the side. That's kind of cool. Tack it on if you need to. That way it stays. That glue gun won't stay on metal very well, but it will stay with that fabric. If you need to, dab a little bit more glue on here. It looks like it's going to stay, maybe not, I don't know. Hold it in place. Just let it dry. If you don't move it and let it dry like that, it'll probably hold it. There we go. Cut off some little strings. Looks pretty creepy. I'm going to tie a string on the other side and we'll be done. Could, if you had like a little plastic spider or something, tie it on over here. That'd be kind of cool. Other than that, let me show you. Get it closer there. See that? I'll give you a close-up. There we go.